Hello guys, we are on the fifth game of the concept of bishop pair advantage, and here is a Caro-Kann game that is played between Guffeld and Kolarov in Odessa in 1968. E4 c6 d3 d5 knight d2 g6 g3 and Eudard Guffeld, the white player, was perhaps the greatest ever fan of the fianchettoed King's Bishop. He contributed a lot of understanding various concepts in the King's Indian and similar opening. In this game, he simply follows his own path and builds a reversed King's Indian setup with an extra tempo. And after Bishop G7, Bishop G2. In such positions, White usually tries to launch a kingside attack. Actually, White's setup is called the King's Indian attack. Black doesn't want to counter by launching a queenside attack because he has already advanced his c-pawn. c5 would be played with the loss of tempo. That is the reason he wants to simplify the position in the center. d takes c4, d takes c4, knight f6, knight gf3, castle shot, and castle shot, bishop g4. And this is a common approach. After h3, bishop takes f3, queen takes f3, knight bd7, queen e2, e5. White has a long-lasting advantage of bishop pair. Having said that, black's position is without weak points. White's task is clear. He must activate the bishops, possibly by opening the position. Opening the position is connected with advancing the pawns. This must be done accurately, without creating good squares for the opponent's knights. Naturally, advancing pawns should start from the edge. This will not create holes. a4. Simple and strong. This move also secures a perfect position for the knight on c4, from where it may control the vulnerable d6 square. For now it looks well protected by the black pieces, but in the future it may be a real weakness. Queen c7, knight c4, rook f e8, b4. White is consistent. He grabs space on the queen side, foreshadowing active play there. Bishop f8, c3. Look at c3 and b4 pawns. They perfectly restrict the black knight and bishop. Place pawns on the opponent's bishop color when you have the bishop pair. Knight b6, and now after knight b6, black counters well. The bishop pair is usually even stronger and both sides have an added knight. Bishop e3, knight takes c4, queen takes c4, knight d7, rook f d1, knight b6, queen b3, rook a d8. White has achieved a lot. His pieces are developed harmoniously, and the space advantage on the queen side is evident. The e3 bishop targets the a7 pawn, and sooner or later weaknesses will appear in black's queenside structure. The other white bishop has good prospectus, but is temporarily on the wrong diagonal. h4, rook takes d1, and black wants to exchange material. The endgame without rooks is also bad for him. Rook takes d1, rook d8, a5. The knight is turned back and forced to protect the pawn on a7. Knight c8. Now all important diagonals are controlled by white pieces. a6, rook takes a6, after a6 there is rook takes d8, queen takes d8. Now queen d3 is threatened, c4, and by far the best way to control the d3 square. Other moves would be passive. White is not afraid of weakening the d4 square because both the black bishop and knight are unable to get there. Knight e7. If the knight must be placed there in this pawn setup, black is in big trouble. With fixed pawn on e4 and e5 and an open d file and the e7 square is the worst square for the knight to be placed. Actually, the game is strategically lost for black. White's bishops dominate while the black's knights wanders aimlessly. No active plans for black. Paralyzed pieces and no prospectus for pawn play. It is only a matter of time before white will orchestrate a breakthrough on either the king side or queen side. King f1. The king gets closer to the center and to guarding the d file. King g7, king e2, h6. There was no need for this move. Black should find other waiting moves. Queen c3, queen d6. With all pieces on their ultimate squares, it is time for action. f4, f6, bishop c5, queen c7, f takes c5, f takes c5. And here exchanging queens would lead to the loss of the queenside pawns. If after queen takes e5 and then here after queen takes e5 and bishop e7. F takes e5, f takes e5. Takes e5. And then 32, 31. F takes e5, queen takes e5. And here after f takes e5, f takes e5, there is queen f3. Here brutal domination of white. Penetration after bishop e6 is black's inevitable fate. So queen d8, bishop e6, and queen e8, bishop d6, and king h7, queen f6. Black pieces are locked down while the bishop pair could not be doing any better. So then after knight g8, bishop takes g8, king takes g8, bishop e5, h5, c5, bishop h6, queen h8 check, king f7, queen takes h6, and after queen takes e5 there is queen f4 check, and black resigned here. This is a classic strategical game demonstrated by Guffeld. Okay guys, I'll be meeting you in the next game. I hope you would enjoy the game. Thank you all.